Yeah, I wish I had.
I got bracket. I don't know that I added anything to it.
Hi, thanks for seeing you.
Go ahead, good jeans.
You know, doing it. Doing what? Yeah.
Anybody to step on it or put signs
Okay, so we shouldn't put signs up.
Well, they have a couple of blocks up front where they mark.
Oh, I hope so.
Yes, ladies, watch it.
Well, she wants.
Let's all wish her a very, very happy birthday. And probably like some of you, or maybe even a number of you, I've always considered myself as much Republican or independent as anything. Has anybody asked anybody if they knew the origin of the word politics? And there was not very many. And there's a few government teachers here, so I won't put anybody on the spot. But to remind you, politic, the word politic comes from polis, Greek word meaning citizen. And politics means citizenship. And we have managed to make it a 4-letter word. And I'm so proud of Laurel and Susan. Feather their own nest. They're in it because they want to do a good job. And they're sick of the way a lot of things are being done. And I'm proud of both of them for wanting to run. I sure hope that blue wave drowns all of us. There's many people to thank here. First is my good friend from school a long time ago, Cappy and Randall Morris. Cappy used to be, for a long time, the mayor of, as you probably know, that one of the fastest growing small towns in America, St. Marcos. Randall used to make an honest living as a cowboy, but now he's a developer. He was a rodeo cowboy for a long time. And both wonderful friends, and they're co-sponsoring this event with us and several other people. And proud of our friendship, Cappy.
We thank you. We're proud of these two candidates. Get them to the microphone,
And the reason I bring this up is because I know they're going to get every Democrat that shows up to vote. And I'm glad about that. But they're going to need more than that to win. They're going to need independents. They're going to need moderates. They're going to need more people to cross over. And so we have got to get the word out about how they are the best person for the job. Period. End of story. And so that means calling and talking to your friends who you may not know how they, vote in a primary. You can tell them, look, I really don't care. Personally, I know how I want to vote. I want everyone to vote blue all the way through. But in order for them to win, we have got to be okay with people who don't feel that way. And we've got to talk to those people. We need them to win. That's why I'm here. I'm not on the ballot. My election's in 2 years. I'm here tonight because public education needs Laurel Jordan Swift in order to survive. I'm here tonight because I don't want Greg Abbott to get more puppets in that place. What he did to Steve Allison was criminal. They lied about Steve Allison. They're lying about Laurel now. They're saying things in these ads that she has never been in a position to do. Laurel, did you ever work for the Border Patrol, or have you ever done something about it? Because the ad said you've led everything across the border.
She pays her taxes.
There you go.
World, right? They're just lying through their teeth. And so that's why tonight is so important. It's great. I'm glad that you're here to support them financially. They need it. But more than anything, as of tomorrow, we need to get the votes in the can.
Safety, Susan, and the Sheriff's Department are leaders, listening to the community, finding out what their needs and wants are, and then being an advocate for those things on the City Council, on Commissioner's Court, up in Austin. And I have to say that I've talked to a lot of Republicans, And I think most of us over the last year have been maybe paying a little more attention to people we know who have been voting Republican for years. And what I'm hearing from a lot of them is they're not as committed as they used to be because they're concerned of what they're hearing in Austin and from the Trump campaign. And I think that if we ask people what's important to you and talk about how these candidates and how the Democratic candidates across the board are listening to their concerns and want to address those concerns. But I've been sold when I first met them both, and I know all of us are too. Let's sell our friends and neighbors. Here's Susan Korbel for our Commissioners Court Precinct 3.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Cappy and Susan. Thank you so many members. Thank you, John. Thank you. Way back there, somewhere is Madeline. Madeline is my field manager. Madeline has been on the planet forever. And if you ever want to know an answer to a question, she is better than Alexa. She can go so deep and know exactly what we think about everybody in this community. I'd like to thank Jackie. She's my treasurer. She is keeping me on the straight and narrow. Becky, where are you? And your son, Simone, who's playing the saxophone for us today. I know a number of you, and I am in the position of saying something that most candidates won't say, which is, I'm only here because of 38 years of being on that side of the microphone. I have been one of you who supports, funds, block walks, and phone banks. And now I'm just moving over here. Not that I really like the microphone that much, but we all have to play our part. We have to play our part because what's coming down is not just incremental. What's coming down is a force that we can't take anymore. Texas cannot take at any level the kind of fascism that is coming. Yes. Now, I'll be good and I won't say any more that freaks everybody out, but I am committed so much that I am doing this at age 75 because I know every one of us is necessary. Now, what do? We have 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, we're going to do a lot. I was 4 hours with Joe today, my son, out at the UTSA area, ground zero for Precinct 3. There are so many people who look at the ballot and they get scared. They've never voted before. They look at this long ballot and they go, oh my God. And there I am saying, go to the very end, circle my name. At the very bottom, you can take this in with you. These are people who don't want to say, like Cappy was saying, I don't know how to vote. I am not in a position to be that responsible. They're saying that in the fact that they haven't voted before. So what we have to do is we all have to do our part. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, take your phone out and look at all the people that you know. But I am going to say that whatever treasure you have, whatever heart and soul you have that you can devote to the two of us or any other campaign that you're working on, now is the time so that when you wake up the next day, you can say, I am so glad I put all that time into these races because look what we're going to have in the future. Yes. And I am now going to stop it because you've been standing on your feet the whole time. We can talk a lot about issues later, but I want to introduce you to my new friend. We started working together right in the beginning and met in my office, and we worked with 2 other candidates who are not in this particular area, and we really, I think, share so much in terms of our commitment to our community. We're both longtime residents here. And so I wanted to say one more thing. My daughter.
Mama. Mama. No, that's
She's
not
my
mine.
campaign manager.
Oh, yeah, Angel. Okay, you're doing good. Give it up for my mom, y'all. She's amazing. Amazing. Yes.
She has taught me purity. She has taught me to look only at the truth. There were times when the gray areas of politics can get a little murky, and I think maybe I should do something, and Polly pulls me back. And so this is what I want you to do. I want you to be that same sense of purity to everybody else, to be able to go out and say, this is the truth. These are the people who will make your life better. And that is exactly what Laurel Jordan Swift has for us.
Wow. So I won't go into all of it, but Susan has been so incredible. It's like having a big sister. You know, she's done this before. She's been in all of this. I'm new to all of it. So thank you, Susan, for being that way for me. Thank you, Susie and Cappy. Thank you, Kathy and Randall, for doing this. And thank you so much to my sweet husband. Because it takes a toll on a family to run for office. It's hard. My name is Laurel Jordan Swift, and I am so, so excited to be the Democratic candidate for Texas House District 121. I think people have said it, but I grew up in this district. I went to MacArthur High School. My parents went to MacArthur High School. I graduated from UTSA, and then I stayed in the district and raised my 5 amazing kids in Alamo Heights. I'm so rooted here, and all my go Brahmas. You know, basically the beliefs that I hold and everything I live by was formed in District 121. So I started having kids when I was young. I was 23 when I had my first daughter, and I had to work hard and I struggled. We didn't have any money back then, and I learned very early on how to be solutions oriented. I went back to school with 3 kids in tow when I graduated at the age of 30. I took care of my parents when they were ailing. My mom developed bipolar disorder. My dad developed an addiction issue, and I took care of them until they passed. And I have a younger brother who in college was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he lives with my husband and I right now, my husband and me. And so I'm one of those people that doesn't, I work hard to take care of those around me. And I don't have time for nonsense. I'm a person that likes to get things done. And that's why I decided to run for office. You know, the kids are grown and they're awesome. Ask me about my kids. I love to brag about my kids. But they're grown. My parents passed. My brother moved in and is situated with us. And I met a lovely woman that works for Annie's List. And she said, oh, I can help you run for office. And she explained to me that Greg Abbott was going to challenge Steve Allison. And I said, okay, I will get my feet wet. I will learn how to do this. And then it ended up, I'm now running against Mark LaHood. So I quit my job. Thank you again, honey. I quit my full-time job to do this full-time. Because I have talked to enough people. The people I know and love, most of the folks I'm surrounded by in my life, think they're Republicans. And it's a comfortable district. It's an affluent district that isn't necessarily hurt by some of the policies that the state has been pushing on us. But now they're coming after our schools. And that has made everyone in District 121 wake up. And the school board election in Northeast in May was an incredible sign. The moderates beat out all 5 of the hard right school board folks. So that north side got an education on what's happening to public education. In Alamo Heights, we all know and love our schools. So I think that we can do this. I mean, we are talking to moderate Republicans, and they're furious about what the governor did to Steve Allison. So all we need is for them to understand that I'm just a common sense, practical person that wants to fix problems. I want to be a public servant. I want to be transparent. I want to make sense. I want people to understand and be able to ask me questions, and for me to be able to explain what's happening in the state legislature. And I can do that. I will be good at this. So we're going to fight tooth and nail for public education. We can afford it, for crying out loud. We had a $38 billion surplus last year. Half of that would give every teacher in this state a $15,000 raise. Surplus for 1 year. We can afford it. So that's something we need to understand. We can improve our schools. We're 45th out of 50 states in per student funding. We can afford it. We're the second largest economy. We have an economy the size of France. We can afford to fund our public schools and make them awesome.
Hey,
So that's number one. My other project is to really educate folks and try to help people understand that we need to expand Medicaid. Our federal tax dollars that we pay to the IRS every year are funding Medicaid expansion in 40 other states. And last year we gave up an estimated $11 billion of federal funding because we haven't expanded Medicaid. Our rural hospitals are closing. It's fiscally crazy that we haven't expanded Medicaid. So that's another big one. And then, of course, I'm pro-choice. I was raised Catholic. I got pregnant when I was 23. I chose to have my baby, but I got to make that choice. And I have 4 daughters, all of childbearing years. And the thought that the state government could dictate what happens to my daughters, it's appalling to me. And I think we need to go back to the way things were before Roe versus Wade was overturned. So that's Oh yeah, and they're going after Plan B. That's it's nonsense. They are pushing out legislation that harms Texans, harms us. So that we can do this. And if you tell your Republican friends that I'm just a regular, modest, moderate, sensible person. I'm not radical. I'm a lot closer. I'm like the days when politics was boring and you didn't even know who your representative was. So if y'all had told me 10 years ago that I'd be running for office, I would not have believed you at all. And back then, I really wouldn't have believed I'd be running as a Democrat, because I was Republican back then. But I am running, and I'm running to bring some common sense and respectful discussion back to the Texas House. So vote for Laurel Jordan Swift. Let's get Texas back on track. You want to run that?
I'm looking around the group here, and Susan and I probably hadn't planned on spending the last part of our lives doing this. I'm old, and I'm lucky to be old. A lot of my friends aren't, or they're gone. But I look around this group, and I'm so pleased and proud to see young people here. And I know that most of you that are young think, what is this crazy stuff about? Ben, I'm so glad to see you here. And Simon, thank you again for playing tonight. Us old people are doing this to try to preserve our democracy. And that might sound a little dramatic, but it's not. And I just can't imagine anyone worse for our president than Donald Trump. And I feel pretty much the same way about Abbott and Patrick and that other guy that should have gone to prison a long time ago. We're not here to do anything for ourselves. It's because we love and care about you, our country, and our future. And you're our future. And Polly, thank you.
Thank you.
And Joe, thank you. And my daughter Avery and my son Trevor, thank you. And my son-in-law, David, you're the future. You're what's next. And believe me, life seems to happen very quickly. Ask anybody around here that's older, and they'll tell you it happens very quickly. So take it seriously and do something with it yourselves. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for being here. Cappy, do you want to say anything? She doesn't live here. She lives in San Marcos.
I will never refuse the microphone. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here for Laurel and Susan. But mostly, I want to thank you for your willingness to vote and to take others to the polls. Come on, you showers, get busy over there. I'm grateful to Cappy and Susie for hosting this event and allowing us to join you.
Yes.
When I served as mayor of San Marcos, and I'll be brief because I want you to visit with Susan and Laurel so you understand their needs, so you understand your needs. When I was mayor of San Marcos many years ago, when it was a volunteer position, I ran and won 4 terms easily. We learned quickly that every city problem is a regional problem. Every state problem is a regional problem. And it's up to us to ensure that those representatives of us understand the region, understand the state. So I urge each of you to vote early, and as we used to say, often, for these stellar candidates and others you find who can serve your community. I thank you each and all. I thank you, Cappy and Susie.
So Cappy did such a good job in San Marcos. That's the reason 35's a horror. She attracted everyone to that city. I want to thank the people that work with us at the Jingu House. This is kind of our first year of doing this. And we can use your help in spreading the word about what a beautiful place this is. We really did this as a civic give back. I didn't plan to give that, Susie and I didn't plan to give it as much as we've given it, but it sure is a beautiful spot for us here. And Kiara is our managing partner here, and she does a phenomenal job. Simon's got a tip jar up here. He agreed to pay for nothing tonight, but he shouldn't have to do that.
Susie. There she goes.
You want to call Tammy? Susie, Tammy, Cappy.
It turned out to be a great night too. And we're doing the study about the
Wonderful. Yay.
Well, that's very good. And, I think it's something that you can't stand for. I told people I take I didn't get any contributions and I didn't win both times in 89 and 91.
not gonna know what that means. Well,
Nice
So nice
to
to
meet
meet
you.
you. Nice to meet you. Take care.
Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Bye.
The Courageous. Good to see y'all.
Good to see you.
Hey.
Thank you for being here.